Welcome back to East Coast DNA. Back in the apartment studio for fans who maybe recognize some of the background. Finally completed my ECMA ale collection there. So last year is track 5. I'm definitely going to have to hunt that one down from Newfoundland. Today we have another festival organizer, so another new festival, and right here in my backyard in Pictou County, so out in Thorburn at Music Mountain, which some people that watched episodes last year may be familiar with. I've referenced it a couple times with some of the other festivals we had around here. But special one this year, Amy, the festival organizer, is here to tell us all about the Lioness Festival.
Yes.
So, hello, Amy, and thank you for stopping by.
Thank you for having me over. I'm representing of Hosstech Promotions, which is putting on our first festival this year. We are doing Lionessfest, celebrating women in front and behind the scenes. Don't get me wrong, everybody's welcome.
Sure.
But in the past, we've seen that women haven't been that much behind the scenes and in the actual production.
Mm-hmm.
So this year we've got a lot of bands that have female leads in them. There's a female soloist. I think Katelyn, Danielle, you've had her on. She's opening up her act at 2 o'clock. So that'll be wonderful. There's going to be a few different vendors that are women who have brought their stuff. There's Sheila, who does Gutter Fest out in Windsor. She's going to have some of her products out.
Awesome.
And we're going to have Turtle Women Creations, which uses like bear grease to make different oils and salves. And I'm hoping that we're going to be able to have the chocolatier and Apocryphy feral chocolates. She's hopefully going to make it up from the South Shore. So fingers crossed on that one. That is going to be a big table, I believe.
And so that was all female themed as well. So when you put this together, like, was this your idea originally, or was this a group effort that, as far as a concept?
It was kind of a group effort between me and Hoss.
Mm-hmm.
So we were talking about it a little bit last year, how it'd be neat to do, and I know so many bands and venues in Nova Scotia.
Yes.
And so we were like, right on. And I put word out early this year that we were going to be doing a festival, and people just hopped right on, and we immediately had like everything booked in like 2 hours. So
amazing.
It was pretty amazing when it started to come together. Mind you, there's a lot of work yet, but
yeah. And it is interesting. I've seen other attempts for like festivals or like a night out with several acts where it will be about women and having female fronted bands or female artists, period. And I've definitely, because of what I do with these interviews, I've had a lot of side conversations when I'm not recording about behind the scenes. But I don't often see like a specific focus. There's definitely people out there that champion females all around every day, but I don't often see the focus on it trying to hit every level where like the production, like your whole back end, and right down to the vendors. So,
the vendors, the MC is a female. We've got, I'm going to be doing a lot of the work, so there's that. We're not trying to signal out males or anything, but the light techs and the sound techs, they're always men from what I've seen. And this, I know they're out there. Obviously, we've got a few. So
well, and that's kind of my point, is that I'm a little different point of view when I get into these conversations. And I know anytime that somebody tries to champion something, they're cautious, especially when it's new, to say like, well, I'm not saying no to the other groups. I'm highlighting one. But to be fair, when I think of that stuff, if somebody says, well, like, there's no women that do that, I'll start to think, well, no, there is, and I'll start to think of examples. But if you have to kind of get all inside baseball on something and actually know the scene that well to be able to think of a couple of examples, then yeah, maybe there is a little bit of discrepancy as far as the balance out there. So it is really nice to see it highlighted. And I know that there's still going to be some men on site, and there's still some male players that are in some of the bands supporting it. Like, I know you can't completely eliminate the males, but
well, we could have, but that's not what we were trying to do. We just wanted to bring all the hard work out front.
Yeah, and now one thing that jumped out right away too, besides the theme, the naming of it, which I wouldn't have picked that name, but it immediately highlighted what you were trying to do without an explanation, which is pretty crafty. I don't know. Who came up with the name for that? You can take credit. We'll just tell whoever complains later that they should have been on the episode.
No, actually, Hoss came up with that one, but he named it after me.
Oh, there you go.
Because I'm his lioness.
That's sweet. I love that. So now, having the Lioness Fest, you have a Wicket poster that's out there, which I'm sure that's really drawn a lot of attention, because I look at posters for these things all the time, and that one sticks out to me every single time I see it, like when I'm scrolling through social media. So kudos to John Raven. We'll give him a little shout out there for the artwork. Now, the lineup is on there right away. And that's another thing with these festivals, especially when we're doing these interviews, is that usually the big news item that I'm trying to pull out of people is like, who's going to play? And so you immediately had a lineup to highlight, like, look, we have a stellar lineup of females out here. So do you want to maybe go through some of the people? We've mentioned Katelyn, Danielle, who's been on, and we do have an interview on our channel here. So if anybody's not familiar with Katelyn, go check that out. It's fairly recent and has a live performance in it. So good little warm up for the festival. But yeah, who else do we have on the bill?
Actually, you've had Alex on here before. I know I've seen. It's been a while ago, but she's going to be doing karaoke in between the sets.
Yes, awesome.
Up in the big tent, so that'll be nice. We have Vandalize, who used to be Not Safe for Work.
Yes.
They're going to be out here. They always rock the show.
Yeah, I like the name change. I know when they were Not Safe for Work, they were definitely hard to search for.
You got a lot of content.
Yeah, you either got the wrong stuff or what you wanted was filtered incorrectly. So, yeah, good, clever name change there. And
Nick and Yolanis, that's a Latin group that's going to be coming.
That's interesting.
I believe it's kind of a pop Latin sound. So I'm really looking forward to that. That'll be something different because where else are you going to get something like that?
Exactly. Yeah, no, that's pretty cool to have that diversity in the genres too.
And then we have Vanilla Whiskey coming up from the Valley.
Now, I'm familiar with that, and if somebody's watching this from that band, forgive me if I forget the association, but do you know who the members of that band are by any chance? We're going to have to look into this.
Vanilla Whiskey, yes. They used to be Infinity.
Okay.
But then they did a little band restructuring and changed their name. So they'll all be coming up from the Valley just for the Lionessfest. Fest, and that's great.
Awesome.
We tried to grab a little all over Nova Scotia and bring them in. We originally had one band coming from Moncton, but as things worked out, that didn't quite. And that made me sad because that would have been a really great. But
well, hopefully you have a successful year and you can bring them in for year 2. That
would be wonderful.
That's something to keep an eye on.
We could do that. We've got tickets on sale, pre-order. It's got its own website, which I can't remember right off the top of my head. But if you go to Music Mountain, it's right there. Hosstech Promotions. I've been putting it out.
I'll put a link in the description of this episode too.
Hosstech Sound. I know Hoss has been promoting it, so it's everywhere. So if you want to try and get a ticket ahead of time, that'd be wonderful.
Perfect. And now for people that are going to the festival, you mentioned the vendors that would be there.
Yes.
Is there anything else? Like, it's a 2-day event?
It is technically a 2-day event.
So there's camping on site?
Yes.
Okay.
Friday, we're inviting everybody who wants to come out, grab your tent spot or camper RV. There's no electricity at Music Mountain, but there are flush toilets. So that's always the saver.
That's a nice bonus, yeah.
That's always nice. Yeah, we're going to have Friday night. It'll be campfire. There's going to be the stage will be all set up so they can come up and jam.
Perfect.
And get used to the stage and just
that's fun.
Have a good time. There will be...
I'm thinking how close that is now. There's still the pizza shop out there, or is that place gone now? There was a little store just down the road.
I'm pretty sure it's still there.
And then Crossroads Country Market has its own liquor store now, and LBR if you're coming from the other direction.
Crossroads is always a good spot to stop.
Yeah. I just finished off a pie from up there.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so Friday night you're just kind of getting settled in. I'll probably have my hula hoops playing with them a little bit.
Oh, there you go. That's fun.
So that'll be fun. So you get your spot and get all set up. This is the first time in, I believe, 2018 was the last time that the big stage was open up.
Oh, on Music Mountain?
Mountain.
I was thinking here, for anyone that's familiar with the Music Mountain location, there's a tent at the top of the hill. And that's where the shows have been. So I was just assuming that stage was gone. So you're on the big stage.
No, we're on the big stage.
And which has kind of a natural amphitheater with the hill going around it too. So, that's amazing. That's going to be really fun.
So we're going to have the stage opened up, and we're going to have the vendors in the tent and Alex in the tent. So there's a little bit of a separation. Cool. And
I like that.
It'll just keep everything flowing nicely.
Yeah.
The way you have a band on and then go up and do some karaoke or do a little shopping or whatnot.
And it's kind of a kickoff to summer because it's not that far away. It's just coming up in June.
Yes, June 21st and 22nd. It's a little early, I know. That's part of what we did the kickoff. We didn't want to plan too much and make it a full 2-day festival because we know some people still work or have kids. Sure. And so getting to something for a Friday evening probably wouldn't be as available for some people. So we're just making it so that Friday you can come in at whatever time and get comfortable and set up, and it's going to be great. And everything starts at 2 o'clock on Saturday.
Great. That's perfect. And that runs right through till, is it like 11, 12 o'clock evening, or is it all night type thing?
It's a all evening thing. We have DJ Amune turns up and goes on at 12. Okay. And she's on run right till 2.
Okay, well that'll be a fun night for sure. So, awesome.
With all these different ones, we have Pretty All Rights coming in from Lunenburg. Cool. So that's going to be great. Gypsy River, I believe they're from the Truro area. Okay. Hot Mess from down here.
Yes, Pictou County.
That's a big name down here. Yeah. I'm sure everybody will know it.
Oh, yeah.
And then DJ's going to turn it up for the last 2 hours. And
amazing.
If it goes a little longer, who knows?
Sure, yeah, everyone's out camping. So
you never know when it comes to the mountain.
That's amazing. And so hopefully this, as I mentioned, is successful so that you can have a follow-up in future years. But since you are working with Hosstech, and I do know that they do other events, is there anything else that, I know it's early, and I'm sure there's lots of stuff to come, but is there anything else coming up that you guys will be putting on yourself rather than being hired to do sound or lights for?
Hosstech Promotions, this is the only one so far, so hopefully we'll get a bunch of tickets sold, and we'll be able to do this again. We had a couple different options, like did you want to do an all rock or you want to do all this, because like I said, I know quite a few bands. It's not so, but the options was out there, and we decided to go with Lionessfest, and hopefully we'll be able to do more.
Yeah. I'm excited to see where it goes because I've seen a build up the last couple of years of new festivals, But now I'm starting to see which ones are sticking around, and I'm starting to notice like people are stepping up their game for what they're trying to do too. So
I know it's starting to be a busy year on Magic Mountain.
Oh yeah,
sorry,
Music Mountain.
Music Mountain. They have Relic Fest coming up after Lionessfest, and then obviously Mike Fest is the big one that they have down there. So.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'd give Mike Fest a good shout out here, but I think maybe I should have Mike back on to do the shout out himself. So we'll see about that. And speaking of which, anyone that's watching this, if you're watching on YouTube, hit subscribe while you're here. I'm really close to unlocking some new features on YouTube. I just need a few more subscribers. So thank you if you're already watching, and thank you again if you're already subscribed. But if you hadn't, hit subscribe now. And if there's any artists that are on this wonderful lineup for Lionessfest that I have not had on, feel free to send an email to eastcoastdnapodcast@gmail.com and let me know that you're part of this bill and you want an interview, and we'll do a little tie-in promo before the event.
Nice.
So thank you for stopping by, and the weekend of the event, I'm right here, so assuming I'm in town, I'll take a drive out and visit you guys on site and see what everything looks like.
Wonderful.
Great.
It's going to be rockin' party.
I'm excited, and I really wish you guys all the best this year.
Thank you very much. It's been great having you.
Great. Thanks again.
Staring at strangers won't turn them into you. Seems like I find your face in everything I do. Guess I thought you might wonder what happened to me. Guess I thought someday you'd finally wake up and see you couldn't let go. And silence is a virtue. And if you're going down, God knows I'm coming with you. Said it wasn't me, that it was you, and that it isn't my fault, but I already knew. I already knew. I think about how proud your parents must be, and how hard for you to know they are thinking of me. I don't need your closure, but seriously, thought you might admit to stealing all of my best years. You couldn't let go. And silence is a virtue. And if you're going down, God knows I'm coming with you. Said it wasn't me, that it was you, and that it isn't my fault, but I already knew. I already knew. What did you do with the ring? Did you move on from me? Have you realized what you've done? Was I ever the one? Where have you been lately? Do your friends all hate me? If you just leave this town, why did you tear me down? You couldn't let go. And silence is a virtue. And if you're going down, God knows I'm coming with you. Said it wasn't me, that it was you, and that it isn't my fault, but I already knew. I already